It's a big job, this. Kind of stressed now. Overbooked myself a little bit. But today we have Cupra, which we've done a load of work on. This is like, I did a few videos on this before I had you. Do you know, where I just was, where there was
before I was born?
Yeah, before I had good camera setup. So this is a Cupra, which is in for a set of Ohlins today. It's the very posh dampers.
This 2017 Cupra is a car that we've been looking after at Kolatech for a little while now. It's got a stage 3 tune with a Turbo Technics V5, bringing it up to approximately 480 brake horsepower. It's fitted with RS3 brakes, it's fully polybushed, it's got loads of little extras. These Ohlins are really going to take the whole platform to that next level.
I think number one job is we have front diagram, rear diagram. We'll build these ready to take the top mounts off that and put the top mounts onto this, because they're pretty new. They're like less than a year old, the top mounts on that. So we'll get them built up so then all this looks less messy and we've just got some coilovers built up. Ready for the top mounts, and then go from there. This car also has adjustable drop links, so it's like quite a big, long-winded, I'd call it a full setup. So it's gonna need ride heights doing, it's gonna need cambers and toes doing, it's gonna need drop link, preload doing, it's gonna need loads of stuff doing to get this car handling right.
And Ohlins stuff is pretty special.
This is probably, in my opinion, special it gets. Look how thick the damper shaft is. It's like the whole thickness of the body. And what's really good with the Ohlins here is it gives you a real nice damper click setting. And it also gives you ride height settings, like where to take your measurements, spring preload, and that'll get you this ride height, and it'll do this, and it'll do that. So we'll use this data sheet as a complete rough guide of how to get the ride heights done, and then we'll finalize the ride heights on the patch. But for now, we have a really good setup sheet. So again, winding road and street, track, spring preload, how much preload to put on the spring, so that's literally a measurement of the spring once it's tight. It's mint, so that should help us assemble this mess somewhat quicker. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Shall we crack on?
Let's get it done.
Let's get it done.
If you're watching this and thinking that the shock in the Kolatech logo and the shot that Zach's building look very familiar, you're absolutely right. That's exactly where the inspiration came from for the Kolatech logo.
So 7 is little bearing, 8 is adapter ring, which I believe will be that, like that. And then we have 9, which is a spacer, which I suspect will be that big donkey of a thing. And then we have original top mount. For illustrative purposes, we have that there, which is an OE top mount.
That's what you grabbed out of stock.
Out of stock, which I keep these in stock because they're so common. But I thought I'd just do this for testing purposes. Just then I can get one which looks somewhat near, like that. And then I might just, there's a nut which is from this kit. So 11 is an M14 lock nut, which will be this one. So for now, we'll do this to 2. For now, just loosey-goosey like that. So the bearing is an Ohlins bearing, which is this little sucker here. Lovely thing, that, isn't it? How they fuse its factory top mounts like that. It's very smart.
I love Ohlins stuff.
It's cool, isn't
Something
it?
about it.
You can get Ohlins for mountain bike, can't you?
That's how I know it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Is it as good on mountain bike
Yeah.
as it will be here? Yeah. Yeah, so you've got a little tiny bearing is now replaces that big chunky thing. So that's where you get your damper length from, because see how it's all very similar. It's pretty impressive. So that just replaces that. So that's cool. Right, we'll use Billy's original top mount because he's recently had them done. That's just for me, for my understanding of how it goes together.
One down, one to go. Usually when we install shocks, the shocks are delivered fully built, so having to build these Ohlins did put some extra time onto today's projects. However, it also allowed us to see just how well everything was machined and how well everything fit together, so although it took a bit longer, neither of us really minded doing it.
That's it. So, Ohlins. Jobs are good. That's good. Damper clicks, it says here, track 7, 0 to 7, so that's stiff. This is obviously from stiff, so you tighten all the way, and it even tells you which way to tighten and loosen them, and I think that is in the other book over there.
This was a semi-interesting conversation we had the other day, wasn't it, about how people determine rebound clicks from soft or from hard?
Yeah, you should do it from hard.
Should do it from hard.
And it does tell you. Let's get the literature, which I think I've put over here. Comes with quite a lot of nice paperwork. Yeah, owner's manual for your bloody dampers. It actually says you need a 60,000 kilometre rebuild on them as well.
Oh wow.
So they don't really last very long, which is proper motorsport. Everything with motorsport has hours. So it's got an hours, if you're using it on track, how many hours you need before a rebuild, and then if you use them on the street, it tells you how many kilometres you need to have a rebuild. So yeah, firm is just righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So we'll probably go for winding road is 5 to 10, street is 10 to 20. Let's do 15. That's in the middle of winding road and street. We live in the UK where the roads are shit, and this car gets driven really hard, so we'll go 15 from stiff. So.
How difficult are these to change once in situ?
Probably quite easy. You just be able to lean under the knuckle. Right, so 1, 2, 15, yeah, I know. I'll probably just write 15 on the shock body here. So then I know that they're set to 15, and I'll write it down. So that front one's done. Then we'll go, oof, full stiff.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15. 15 clicks. So we'll just quickly scribble on this. 15. Job's a good one. So front's semi-built, ready to go. We'll do the backs tiny bit squidgier, I think. A little baby lock nut on top there. So that's just to stop that from going any higher. 11 is our plastic spring spacer, which is that. And 12, which is our spring, which is 49200. There you go. That's one rear done. And that'll click over the actual factory top mount. So I'll go there. So we've got a little 10mm, little 10mm. And then we can't do anything else yet until we've actually got the top mount off the car. But for the bottom we have this, which will, I suppose, will be go. Okay, so that'll get zip tied. That's why it comes with 4 zip ties.
Factory Ohlins zip ties?
Ohlins zip ties. So that basically, see how it covers your damper adjuster there. I'm guessing just for some sort of corrosion protection.
Now the Ohlins are built up, it's time to prepare the car. Zach takes some baseline measurements, gets the car on the ramp, gets the wheels off, and starts to remove the previous shocks, ready for the new ones to be installed.
Oh God, they're heavy. So, one arm out, stripped. Just gonna swap the top mounts over, put the new one in, then onto the other side. So they're a fancy hardened top mount.
Nice.
Which this car has, which I fitted them a while back actually. So what my plan is with this is I will take all the tension off the spring, just so then I'll just do the Ridehites on the car to the spec it wants you to. And what size? Yeah, it's got an Allen key on the top, that's great. That means we can use our special tool.
So this is factory top mount.
Yeah, there's not much difference between this and this. This is just hardened, yeah. That washer's meant to go there because you're meant to have a huge flange nut from factory, which I actually prefer the standard nut. But we'll do this because it's the kit. So we'll get my special counter holdy tooly thing. So, when we tighten up top mounts, people who use a buzz gun, that's wrong, because all you're going to do is spin the actual damper shaft, which can damage seals and actually unwind whatever's going on inside there. The proper way to do it is to have a tool like this, where it's a counter holding tool. So you put that in, and then you can basically counter hold whilst you tighten it. Which means that you're not going to damage any of the internal seals or dampers or anything like that. All you're going to do is just tighten it up against itself like that. Yeah, lovely. And then we'll torque them. That's one done. No play, nothing like that. So what we'll probably do now is set this damper to the measurement it gives you in this book, which is 175 from the top of the spring to the bottom of the spring. So that is equivalent, supposedly, of 5mm of preload, which will get us to the ride height they sort of want you to be. So that's good. We can do that now.
And what's the likelihood of that being bang on for the car, sort of?
It seems to me like they've actually done proper testing, whereas some of the brands who make coilovers, they get them out as quick as possible because they want to make money, whereas I feel like these are more, they've had a real good think about what's worked and they probably tested it properly. What? It's true, isn't it?
Fancy mat for components on the bench.
Yeah, I know. It's good, isn't it, that? Let's try and get a better, so that's a good data point right up there. Make sure our tape measure's pushed in. So we'll go top of the rubber, the bottom of the spring. So this is optimal, supposedly, for this damper setting. Damper is what we're doing here. So that's bang on. So that's 175. So that is what Mr. Ohlins says you need to do. So we'll lock that off with the spanners. And then if we send it down and it's somewhat where we need to be, we'll lock it off properly and paint mark it. But for now, we'll just quickly lock this off to the point where it can't move. And that, it's a nice spanner, isn't it? There's an Ohlins factory at the Nürburgring.
Oh, nice.
So the industrial estate where Mantai is and some other bits, like Vulcan Alpha, where what Misha owns, that YouTuber, it's a big industrial estate, and there's a lot of very cool brands just chilling there. So you've got Porsche Motorsport, you've got, I think Bilstein's there, Ohlins have got a factory there. I don't know if it's a testing facility, probably a testing facility. But yeah, see the damper clicks are underneath there. So you probably will be able to get under in between the shaft and this if you needed to do damper clicks. But it's not like a 2-second job, you can't do it on the fly, like it's not part of the top damper.
So the fact this is a shorter damper,
Yep.
is that going to affect the setup?
It'll affect the droop, which is something that's now uncontrollable. The droop's set. We can't lengthen the shock absorber, the droop is what it is, so. So we'll get this lined up, and then we'll put our tool in to make it easier.
Let's grab it.
Where is it? Is it on the half
on the
inch
bench
string?
here.
Yeah, we'll go for that. And then half turn, and this damper should just fall in. These drop links are making it very tricky to get into where I need to be with this.
They're in.
They're in. I just like to double check these. These like to bend these bolts and they like to stretch. It seems okay. They're nice, them, aren't they?
They look handsome.
They do good. They are good. Yeah, it's got adjustable drop links, this. So this is, so these now will probably be the wrong length because we've had to play around with that now. So when it goes on the flat patch, we'll put it on the flat patch and we'll preload these correctly. So then you've got no binding or nothing.
And the likelihood is
grabbing.
that shorter damper is going to be shorter drop link.
Yeah. So that basically just needs to be extremely free in the hole, so then there's no preload on the drop link. I'll take a photo of that so I know it goes that way.
Right, what are we on?
Right, these are, because this car's fitted with electric adjustable shock absorbers. These are them little things I was on about, which pretend that the shock absorber is still fitted, so it won't bring an error light on the dash. So essentially these brackets are made to wrap around your shock absorber, and you plug it in, plug that in, zip tie it all together, and it just fits nicely on there, and this will trick the car into thinking it still has the correct dampers fitted. Sorry, just was miles away then, but yeah, and that is that basically. So we'll do this on all four corners. That's what we're aiming for, something like that.
Lovely.
Yeah, it's a nice little neat little thing. So we'll just double check. It's quite self-explanatory, but I just like to make sure it's 100% how Ohlins want it, just because then it looks proper, doesn't it? But you get all these nice little sticky pads and stuff.
Quite a big little module actually, isn't it?
It does I think it is quite a complex thing to delete. It's not as straightforward as it's just a resistor or something, because it has to do all different settings. I'm pretty sure it's quite a complex thing. So that's 5 mil of preload on the spring as well. So if Ohlins have done the measurements right, that's perfect amount of preload. But it's
It
not
surprised me you were saying the other week that like the preload, you should be able to move it a little bit in most instances.
Yeah, that's like the same as at Honda we did, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's like a nice factory amount of preload. Yeah, so that's on, as per the book, that spring measurement there is 5 millimeters of preload. So that's good, perfect, supposedly, says the book. So that should give us 20 mil of ride height difference from factory. So that is bang on where we need to be, same as the lowering spring. So this should be a very similar ride height, which is good. And then the back, they've given you another measurement, which is like an optimal ride height. So obviously we need to put driver weight in and figure it out properly, but that gives us a real nice baseline. It looks excellent as well, doesn't it?
Good start.
Good start.
Yeah, 1 down, 3 to go.
Yeah, God, yeah. Let's get cracking.
Zach installed the remaining front shock and both of the rear shocks. As this car's been worked on quite a lot by Kolatech, everything went pretty much as anticipated. There was nothing seized, nothing too tight, nothing that was going to be a major problem moving forward, so we moved straight on to the alignment.
So before you start, I left you
Yes.
a short while ago with fronts just about done.
Yep.
How were the rears?
All right, overall. Yeah, it was really good. It's cool because it's an inverted damper. It just looks wild, doesn't it? It just bolts on quite simply, the back. It's nothing fancy. There's a lot less droop, so the hub's now in a different position, but it's good. The ride heights are, it's 5 millimeters worth of rake with 3/4 of a tank. So that'll probably be 0, with that's with driver weight as well. So with a full tank, it might be closer to 0, but that's fine. Ride heights were a bit different side to side. One of the wings is a bit damaged.
Yeah, show us the wing, because this was interesting. I saw video you sent me.
So I'm looking at one side to the other, even with the eye back on. I'm looking with the eye back springs and one side's well higher. I'm like, that's weird. Look at the gap here on the wing. Yeah, and the panel gap. So this wing has been knocked. It's too far up, or it's actually non-genuine, or something which is out of our control. So our data point's completely wrong on this side. So we measured the ride heights from a fixed chassis point underneath with the laser level and put a ruler against that. So that now the front is like 0 millimeter. It's perfect from side to side with driver weight. The back is like 1 millimeter different with driver weight. Perfect. So we are ready to rock and roll with the alignment. And also, if you see the ride height, we've given ourselves plenty of room for settling. But you can see visually, this side's a little bit lower because this wing is fitted correctly. So it's like 5 millimeters higher on the wing, but the chassis is perfectly flat.
You know what's interesting though? If you'd have done a quick job, you wouldn't have tagged that.
No.
You'd have measured, like usual, here to here, on both sides, and you'd have tried to even them up, and you'd have ended up being even more cockeyed.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, just got to notice things like this, and this is what separates a full setup from just a wheel, someone fitting coilovers and a wheel alignment. Like a full setup is job lot. We've changed the suspension, so the drop links now have been changed, the length's been changed, the preload's completely different. to create no binding with the anti-roll bar. So these are all little things you learn when you do motorsport stuff for a living, and also hanging around with cool people like my friends who just teach me. We just share ideas and bounce ideas off each other. So this car is like set up properly. Damper clicks are for fast road. The rake is more fast roady / a bit more track. But you've got plenty of ride height front and back for wheels to go up and down. We're just going to do the alignment now, and front's not adjustable on camber. So it's simply front toe, rear toe and rear camber. But I have a sneaky suspicion the rear might be in, because I think a really reputable garage did the alignment last. So because our ride heights aren't too dissimilar to the springs, I'm hoping the back's still like somewhat near, and then we can just do the front and it's done, isn't it? But we'll see. We'll get the old ruler out and give it a go.
Sick.
Sick.
Let's go.
Let's go.
You might have seen us do alignments before on the Kolatech channel. We use an incredibly manual but an incredibly reliable way of making sure everything's absolutely bang on. Zach sets up a perfect box around the car, finds his data points on each wheel, and then goes about making individual adjustments by fractions of a millimetre to make sure everything's exactly where he wants it. Depending on the driver and the use case for the vehicle depends on exactly how everything gets set up. But whether it's track or whether it's fast road, every car that leaves Kolatech leaves faster, sharper and more stable than when it came in.
Take me through that journey again, just for those at home that are interested. So typically, we just said about taking that centre cap off the front wheels and
using the drive shaft nut as a centre point. If both drive shaft nuts are equal, it's quite a good data point. Everything should be the same. Centre caps can be a bit annoying, especially if like it lands like that and you've got like not a nice. If it landed like that and you could get it right in the middle on all four, but it's just never going to happen. So all that would be nice, you know, where it's all right in the middle, but they're never ever going to land like that. So sometimes best on certain cars, pop the centre cap out and use a fixed point on the wheel, for example, like here. We need to lower this string a bit, but yeah, that's a nice fixed point, which is never going to change. Just a little lip of it here on the alloy.
So the centre of this one's actually a bit domed?
Yeah, it's a bit domed where it's like it's just not very nice.
So using that lip?
This lip here is a real nice point for us to get a good data point. So that's good. So we'll use that as a data point instead. It's really nice and fixed. And we can use that on the front if we don't want to use a drive shaft bolt as well. We've got a few different ways to go about it. But this, it's a little bit out still. We're talking micro adjustments now to get that bang on.
I don't think it's trade secret to do a proper job.
I suppose.
So explain what's just happened.
Set the toe to the specifications we wanted. Wiggled the wheel, it's wrong again. So this is why it's so important to settle the car when you make adjustments. So if I locked that off on both sides and then just kicked it out the door, it wouldn't be right. So to give yourself a fighting chance of it being 100% right is you do an adjustment, make a wiggle, do an adjustment, make a wiggle, blah, 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 roll it back and forward, do what you need to do. And eventually, when the measurements are the same after you've done your wiggle, you know you're bang on. So that's literally it. Something, again, like when you use a hunter machine at a dealer, or you know, like everyone uses the laser machines, what everyone uses. At the end of your alignment, it says do a caster sweep. Caster sweep is like lock to lock. And all the time, your readings are wrong once you've done your caster sweep, and people just click next, print, and they print the green bit. So like, if you do a caster sweep, and all your toes will be wrong again. But people are like, oh fuck it, I've already done toes, so I'll just print it. So this level of precision should be done on your local tyre shop. It's just, you don't pay enough for them to be bothered to do it. So yeah, we're doing it again. Again, toe again, more toe. The rear's really good on these. You sort of just fit it, you set it and forget about it. It's really good. But the fronts are a bit of a pain, but that's any car's the same. So that's fine. We've got 35 and 30. So close, but it's not right, is it?
Zach spent almost an hour making tiny micro adjustments to make sure everything was exactly where it needed to be. Once we got this Cupra off the patch and on the floor, it was immediately obvious that it was sitting beautifully. Now, obviously, only the driver's going to be able to tell us how much of an impact these new Ohlins have made. Zach took it for a very short test drive up and down just to make sure everything was super tight, super responsive, and it was. Everything was great. Cannot wait to get the feedback from the driver, hear what he thinks, and see how he finds everything.
Right, so what we have done is built the coilovers, fitted the coilovers, done the ride heights, done drop link preload, and we've done a 4-wheel alignment. It's been quite long-winded, this one, hasn't it?
What time's it now?
4 o'clock?
4:30, 4.
Yeah, so by the time this is done and off the ramp and wheels are torqued and it's road tested, it's gonna be probably, yeah, 4:30, 5-ish, so a full day of it on this today, which I thought it would take, to be fair, but it wouldn't have took as long if the Ohlins didn't need assembling on the bench. They came in a million bits, didn't they? So that slowed us down a little bit.
If you've enjoyed following along today, please consider liking and subscribing. You don't have to, but it helps us loads. We want to continue doing this. Thank you so much for being here. Catch you next time.